Welcome back. Today, we're not exactly doing a deep dive in the usual sense, but recounting some stories, some really unsettling accounts that listeners have shared.
That's right. We're looking at three specific chilling encounters.
And the common thread. They all happen during massive, intense thunderstorms. People thinking they're safe inside, But the storm, it wasn't the real threat.
No, the storm was the cover. The sheer noise, the chaos, what you might call auditory saturation, it masked something else entirely, something, well, sinister.
Exactly. These aren't just ghost stories. These are about moments where reality itself seems to fray. You think, okay, maybe it's just a crime I don't understand. Or maybe, just maybe, I'm losing my grip.
But these accounts, they push towards this unsettling third possibility, a targeted event, almost perfectly blending with the environment to destabilize the person experiencing it.
So let's get into them. 3 stories where the line between a physical threat and something deeply psychological gets incredibly blurred.
Where you're forced to wonder, am I going crazy, or did that impossible thing actually just happen?
Okay, first up, the runner and the woman by the unlisted reservoir. This person, our narrator, lived near a patch of woods, used it for running. Pretty normal suburban setup.
But bordering those woods, a huge body of water. And this is where it gets strange.
Right. Surrounded by high barbed wire fences, tons of no trespassing signs.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker.
It wasn't on any maps, Google Maps, Apple Maps, nothing, completely unlisted. That absence itself creates a sense of unease, doesn't it? Like something's being hidden.
Definitely fuels local speculation. So the narrator's a runner, uses the woods. One evening, thinks he hears some rustling after a run, but dismisses it.
Easy enough to do. Animals, wind.
Exactly. Then that night, a massive thunderstorm rolls in. Huge one. He actually likes the sound, sleeps with the window open.
And that's when it happens.
He hears crying. Soft sobbing, clearly human, coming from right under his bedroom window. Then, cutting through the rain and thunder, this soft female voice.
What did it say?
Can you help me? I'm cold.
Chilling, right? Just cuts right through the storm noise. His first thought is to help, naturally. He doesn't hesitate, just sprints out the door, around the house, into this absolute downpour.
And under the window overhang?
He sees her, a woman huddled there, wearing white, like a nightgown or maybe a thin dress.
Okay, so maybe someone genuinely in distress caught in the storm.
That's what he thinks. But when he gets closer, she just springs up and rushes straight at him. Not like someone asking for help, but with this frantic, unexpected energy.
Whoa, okay, that changes things. Instantly.
Totally. But then, just as suddenly, she hesitates. Mid-charge. She veers off, away from him, and bolts into the dark woods.
Bolts how?
He said she ran impossibly fast, and she was barefoot. Disappeared into the darkness and the trees.
Okay, so weird, disturbing, but maybe still explainable as someone panicked, maybe unwell.
You could argue that if that was the end of it, but it wasn't.
There's more.
About a week later, he's out running again, same route. He happens to glance over that big fenced-off reservoir, the unlisted one.
The unlisted one. And sitting right there, inside the fence, on the edge of the water, feet dangling in, it's her, the same woman.
Inside a 10-foot barbed wire fence, how?
That's the question. He said there were no holes, no gates nearby, nothing obvious. It looked completely secure.
That detail, that's what shifts it. It challenges the rational explanation completely.
She turns, sees him, looks right at him. And she runs not away, but towards the fence where he is, presses her face right up against the chain link. And she just stands there, smiling at him. He described it as a not normal smile. Deeply unsettling.
I can only imagine. What did he do?
He yelled. He was calling the police. And the instant he said that, she turned, ran back to the water's edge, and just dove straight in, vanished beneath the surface.
Dove in. So the core mystery remains. How did she get inside that compound? It seems physically impossible without tools or leaving some sign.
Exactly. The source doesn't give an answer. After that, he started hearing noises outside his window more often at night, just general sounds, maybe nothing, but he felt watched. Became reluctant to run that route again. You can understand why.
That lingering paranoia is part of it, isn't it? The event itself is baffling, but the psychological echo, it stays with you.
Okay, let's move to the second account. The blockhouse retreat. This involves a middle-aged guy, had a fight with his wife, needed space.
So he drives off.
Yeah, about 20 minutes out to this remote property he owns. It's this big, old concrete block structure, maybe an old shooting range, something like that. Solid, isolated.
Perfect place to be alone, or feel alone anyway.
And right as he gets there, another huge thunderstorm starts up. The rain is hammering on the metal roof, amplifying the sound. He said it felt like being completely cut off from the world.
That kind of sound can do funny things to your head. Total sensory immersion. It sets the stage for what happened next, I suppose, like auditory pareidolia hearing patterns in random noise.
You think that's what it was? Because just as he's starting to drift off, bam! He's jolted awake by the sound of shattering glass.
Okay, that's not pareidolia. That's definite.
Definitely real. He grabs a hunting rifle he kept there and goes to investigate. Finds a hole, punched through one of the boarded-up windows in a back room.
Someone trying to get in?
The hole was too small for anyone to fit through. Just punch through. Glass everywhere. He figures it's just vandalism, tapes some cardboard over it, tries to settle back down.
But the feeling of isolation is probably gone now, replaced by unease.
Totally. And later, he hears something else. Faintly, underneath the roar of the storm. Slow, quiet footsteps. Moving around on the concrete floor below him. Trying to be stealthy.
Oof. Okay, that's specific. Footsteps are hard to mistake, though again, old building, storm, the mind can play tricks. Rationalizations kick in.
He tried that. Thought maybe it was the building settling, the wind whistling through somewhere. But it sounded too much like footsteps.
So he investigates again.
Yep. Rifle in hand, checks the entire place. Inside, then outside in the pouring rain, every door still locked. No sign of anyone, no forced entry besides that small hole. He starts seriously wondering, am I imagining this? Is the stress getting to me? The doubt creeps in. That's the insidious part. But just as he's convincing himself it's all in his head, he hears a new sound. And this one. Undeniable. The unmistakable screech and drag of heavy furniture being moved across the concrete floor downstairs.
That's not the storm, not the building settling. That's deliberate action.
No way to explain that one away. He snaps, charges downstairs, yells out that he's armed, that he knows someone's there. His voice just echoes in the empty space.
What did he find?
Silence. He turns on the lights, looks around. Nothing. Absolutely nothing has been moved. Not a chair, not a table, everything exactly as it was.
Wow. So the sound was completely real to him, but there was no physical cause.
None that he could see. And in that moment, he said all the anger, all the adrenaline just vanished. Instantly replaced by this overwhelming, pure, cold fear, just ice washing over him.
A primal reaction.
Every instinct just screamed, "Get out! Now, now!" So he did. Didn't even hesitate. Locked up, jumped in his car, and drove back home through the worst of the storm.
Still not sure if he'd encountered something else, or if his own mind had turned against him in that isolated, storm-filled place.
Exactly. Was it a psychological attack, using the storm as cover, or something utterly inexplicable? It leaves you hanging.
It highlights how terrifying something can be when it leaves no physical trace, making you doubt your own senses.
Which leads us perfectly into the third story. The DD and the screwdriver trap. This one feels, well, maybe the most tactically malicious.
Okay, set the scene.
It's late, around 1 a.m. Our narrator, let's call him Jason, is the designated driver taking his drunk friend Leo home. Pouring rain, a real deluge.
Middle of nowhere.
Pretty much. Driving past cornfields, Leo insists he has to stop, relieve himself. So Jason pulls over.
Classic scenario.
Leo stumbles off into the cornfield. Jason gets out too, walks the other way a bit. He hears some rustling near the car, different from the rain, but dismisses it. Corn stalks, maybe.
Okay.
A few minutes later, Leo comes sprinting back to the car, absolutely terrified, screaming at Jason to drive. Just go, go, go.
What happened to Leo?
Leo says he saw a figure in the field. At first, he thought it was Jason, so he started walking towards it, deeper into the corn. But then he realized it wasn't Jason. It was someone else. A man. Just standing there, further in the darkness.
Okay, creepy. Definitely unsettling. So they drive off fast.
They do, but maybe half a mile down the road.
Flat tire.
Convenient timing. Or inconvenient, rather.
Extremely inconvenient. They pull over again, still pouring rain, still middle of nowhere. Jason gets out to check the damage, and what he finds is shocking.
Not just a nail.
No. Lodged deep in the sidewall of the rear passenger tire is a screwdriver. Jammed right in there. Clearly intentional. Sabotage. Wow. Okay, so this confirms Leo wasn't just spooked by shadows. Someone was out there, and they disabled the car deliberately. They're stranded.
Exactly. Stranded, isolated, vulnerable, in the dark, in the rain. They try to change the tire, fumbling in the miserable weather, and then they hear it.
Don't tell me.
A scream. A clear, high-pitched woman's scream coming from the darkness somewhere behind them, back towards where they stopped originally.
Wait. Leo saw a man in the field, but they hear a woman's scream.
Precisely. That contradiction is key. It feels tactical, like a lure. First, the man sighting scares them, then the sabotage traps them, then the woman's scream tries to draw them back, maybe separate them. Go check on her.
That's incredibly sinister, a deliberate trap playing on instinct.
Jason felt it instantly. The whole setup felt wrong. He just panicked. Threw the jack and the ruined tire in the trunk, jumped in the car, and floored it. Leo's yelling at him, calling him a coward for leaving someone potentially hurt, but Jason refused to stop.
He recognized the manipulation, the staging of it all.
He thinks so. Later, he questioned the logic. Why would someone trying to attack them puncture a tire? It draws attention, makes noise. It only makes sense if the goal wasn't immediate attack, but trapping them. The scream felt like the final part of that trap.
But the story doesn't end there, does it? There's an aftermath detail that's particularly baffling.
Right. The police were called. They investigated the next morning, found zero evidence. No footprints, despite the mud, no sign of anyone having been there.
Okay, maybe the rain washed things away.
But here's the truly weird part. They couldn't find the flat tire Jason had ditched by the side of the road. The physical proof of the sabotage? It was just gone.
The tire vanished. That adds another layer of impossibility, much like the woman getting over the fence. How does the whole tire just disappear?
No idea. Jason and Leo talked about it endlessly. None of it made rational sense. Was the evidence deliberately removed? Or was something even stranger going on? It left Jason with this horrible thought. What if the scream was real? What if he abandoned someone who genuinely needed help because he was caught in this paranoid spiral?
That uncertainty is perhaps the most chilling aspect.
So looking at all three, you see the pattern, right? The sudden intrusion, focused and intentional, appearing out of the chaos of the storm.
Yes, and the element of impossibility. The fence, the locked doors, the vanishing tire, things that defy simple explanation.
And the sheer terror. Not just fear of attack, but this deeper, colder fear that makes people flee, overriding any instinct to fight or investigate further. It's a complete breakdown of their perceived reality.
Each person faced that awful choice. Trust your gut, your senses telling you something impossible and dangerous is happening. Or trust logic, which says it can't be happening, meaning maybe you're the problem.
When the storm hits, when the noise covers everything, what is it really covering? That's the question these stories leave you with.
And it forces us to ask, when the environment itself seems complicit, how do we ever truly distinguish genuine danger from our own fear, our own delusion? Where's that line?
We hope exploring these terrifying possibilities tonight has given you something to think about, perhaps as the rain falls outside your own window. Thank you for listening.
If these stories gave you chills, maybe hit that like button. Share it with someone else who appreciates these kinds of unsettling true accounts.
And definitely subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs, for more explorations into the strange and the frightening. Stay safe out there, good night, and we'll see you soon.